Hey everyone, in the last video we discussed the parts of the Liva One Plus CL that we're going to use to upgrade this mini PC. As for the current configuration, this mini PC has an i3-8100 processor with 4 cores and 4 threads. It also has two 500GB SSDs, one M.2 and one SATA. The RAM configuration is 12GB, one 8GB stick and one 4GB stick. Right now, what we're going to do is benchmark this current setup, and then we'll play Marvel Rivals and Hades to check if they're playable on this mini PC before we proceed with the upgrade. For the upgrade, we'll be swapping the CPU to an i7-8700 and the RAM to 32GB 2x16 at 2400 MHz. So let's get it. On CPU ID, it shows the Intel Core i3-8100 Coffee Lake with max TDP of 65 watts, 4 cores and 4 threads. In the mainboard tab, the manufacturer is ACS, model is Liva One Plus CL, and you can also see the 12GB of DDR4 dual channel RAM and the Intel UHD Graphics 630. Next is the Valley benchmark on low quality at 1080p. The nighttime averaged around 18 FPS, while some scenes average around 23 FPS. Since the footage was recorded locally while benchmarking, that alone affected the results. Up next is Marvel Rivals. I tried opening the game, but it seems it doesn't work on Intel integrated graphics, or maybe it's just the driver. So I didn't update any of the drivers for the mini PC. So in the next future videos, I'm going to make sure that I'll do that. Moving on, for Hades, again, this footage was recorded locally at the same time as the gameplay, which is why it stutters a lot and also affects the FPS. So it averages around 40 FPS, which isn't bad. Maybe if I had used a capture card like in the future footage, it could reach around 60 FPS. Now that we're done with benchmarking, we're going to swap the CPUs between the mini PC and the system that already has the i7-8700. Okay, now we're going to get the Quadro K620, the Wi-Fi card, and the most important part, the i7-8700 from the PC that I bought. Then we'll swap the processors from this PC to the mini PC. This is the NVIDIA Quadro K620, released in 2014 for workstations, so it is really not meant for gaming but more for rendering. Then the Wi-Fi card is the TP-Link Archer T6E. And now, for the most important part, the Intel i7-8700, released in 2017 with 6 cores and 12 threads. Now that we've extracted the processor, let's move on to the mini PC. We're going to unscrew the 5 screws holding the top cover. Once we slide it open, we'll remove the SATA cables connected to the SSD in the top cover. We're also going to remove these other cables so that they won't get in the way during the upgrade. Here we have the Kingston 4GB DDR4 3200 MHz RAM and the Wapposite 8GB DDR4 2666 MHz RAM. Once we remove the RAM, we'll disconnect the CPU fan, take off the fan and heatsink, then remove the processor and swap it with the i7-8700. After that, we'll add some MX4 thermal paste, reinstall the heatsink and cooler, and upgrade the RAM to 32 gigs. Once that's done, we'll reconnect the cables and put the top cover back to the mini PC. Now let's go back to the PC and reinstall the i3-8100. I really had some trouble putting it back, this kind of Intel fan, but after many minutes of struggle off camera, I managed to secure it properly. I also confirmed off camera that the PC is working as intended. Back to the mini PC. On CPU ID, you can see the Intel Core i7-8700. Same manufacturer, 32 gigs of dual channel memory running at 2400 MHz, and the Intel UHD 630. For Valley benchmark, it averages in the mid-30s, a big jump from the i3-8100. However, since the footage was recorded at the same time as the benchmark in the i3-8100, performance was still affected. This time, I used the capture card to lessen the issue. In Hades, it's a consistent 60 FPS with some dips here and there, but overall, it's much more stable because I used a capture card to capture the footage. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and until next time, Ting Tech Toe shutting down.